everyone, so today I am going to do another first impression on another foundation. Foundation first impressions are my favourite. I think they're the most useful in my opinion, but if there's anything else you would like to see under the first impression category, let me know, because I can see if I've got anything new I can do it with, slash if I buy it I know to do it, you know what I mean. So the foundation I'm going to be trying out today, I've heard good and bad things about. It is called the e.l.f. Acne Fighting Foundation. So this is what the packaging looks like. Good for people that want to travel because it is nice and sleek. It can just slide into the side of your makeup bag. I'm not a huge fan of how it looks, but it's not bad. It's just very simple, quite sleek. And this foundation contains salicylic acid, witch hazel, camphor, which I'm not sure what that one is, tea tree and aloe. And I love tea tree oil. I use a lot of tea tree oil in my skincare and it really helps me with breakouts. Not a huge fan of salicylic acid. I don't know if it doesn't agree with my skin or if it just doesn't work with my skin. I've never really found that it helps me, but I know it is really popular for most people when it comes to acne medication and that kind of thing. But we're going to see how this goes. I thought it was a perfect opportunity to try this out because I've been breaking out like crazy lately. I think it's something I've added into my skincare or like makeup routine because I have tried out so many new things lately. So now it's the fun game of like trying to pinpoint what it is that isn't agreeing with me. So yeah, I'm mostly dealing with scarring at the moment, but I guess at the moment I'm quite breakout prone, so yeah, just thought I'd try it out and see how well it covers, you know, scarring and things, because it is an acne fighting foundation. In my mind I feel like it should be suitable for people with acne in terms of coverage, and it should, you know, cover things up, so we'll see how it goes. I'm just going to prime a little bit. I'm just going to use my L'Oreal Lumi Magique, one of my favourite primers of all time. If you haven't tried it yet, you totally should. If you like dewy skin, it completely makes you look really, sorry, I'll get my hair out of my face in 1 second, I totally just forgot. But it makes your skin like real metallic looking, so I wouldn't go wearing this alone, but as soon as you put your foundation on top, it just looks so pretty. I love this as well because at the moment it is really cold, like, you know, it's autumn, winter, and my skin is dealing with the weather change by drying up, of course. It's freaking out and drying out, so this one here is just so moisturizing and I just love the way it feels. I'm going to apply this now. I'm going to do one side with like a flat top or a round top or whatever, and then I'm going to do one side with a beauty blender and see what I prefer. So that's what the formula looks like. It's really quite thick and creamy. I would compare it to like Laura Mercier Cream Silk Foundation, that kind of formula there. A little bit goes a massive way, if you could see how far that spread out just then. This shade is definitely a shade or two too dark for me, but I feel like I'd be able to wear this when I am freshly fake tanned, because my fake tan is on like its last couple days at the moment. So I'm just going to spread this out. I'm just buffing it into the skin because this one seems to kind of sit on the surface and go quite chunky if you don't buff it in, so you need to buff it in so that you get a really even layer and it doesn't cake up in one spot. So that there is one super thin layer. It started to even out my skin tone quite a bit. You can still see my redness, but so far so good. The finish is like a natural kind of matte finish. It's not like flat matte, it's like a demi matte, is that what it's called, where it's still a little bit, it's got a little bit of a natural kind of sheen to it, but that's probably because of my base, so I'm happy with that. Without the base, I would say it would just be almost like a straight kind of matte formula. Okay, the other side, I'm just going to do one layer all over my face and then go back and build it up and see how well it builds. But I'm going to use a beauty blender now on the other side and see how that goes. Okay, so with the beauty blender side you get a fuller coverage faster. Sorry if you can hear my dogs barking, they're playing with their new snack. So with the beauty blender you get a lot more coverage a lot faster. It does look heavier. It doesn't look cakey though, it really doesn't, but we'll see how that changes when I put on some powder. This side looks a lot more natural and skin-like, but obviously I've only done one layer, so hold on 1 sec and we will see how it goes. So I'm just going to stipple it, and then you really have to buff it. Okay, so to be honest with you, both sides end up looking almost identical, so I mean you can use anything. The beauty blender is just a bit faster. So out of the dollop I had, there is like so much left. I used probably a third of what I poured out, so you really don't need much at all. First impression on the actual foundation, the shade is definitely too dark for me. It looks a little bit orange, but the actual formula is really nice for someone who enjoys full coverage. It's definitely not natural, it's definitely not thin. It is thick, high coverage, like the real deal. If you want to cover stuff, it's gonna cover. Like if you look at all those scars I had, you can't even see them. You can only see like the raised bumps of acne. The finish is quite matte, so I'm glad I used that dewy primer, just because I enjoy a dewy finish, so it's giving me a little bit of like a demi-matte finish instead of a full-out matte. So keep that in mind. If you like fully dew on skin, you'll have to use like a really dewy primer or setting spray or something with this. And if you like matte, then perfect, because it's matte. It covered up most of my redness on my cheeks, like there's nothing noticeable. And I don't think it looks heavy. It definitely looks noticeable, as I said, it's thick, full coverage, but it doesn't look chunky on my skin. So we'll see how it goes after I put on some powder and see if it stays that way. I'm going to use a little bit of a lighter powder. This is the Lasting Perfection by Collection in the shade 1. But first, actually, I should probably put on some concealer under my eyes because I've got some dark icicles going on. Okay, so I'm going to use my NYX HD Photogenic Concealer. I always get so tongue-tied when I say that. I don't know why, because it's very simple. I'm just going to use this under my eyes. It is very brightening because my foundation is so dark. Please excuse that. Obviously, I had to buy the foundation online, so I couldn't really tell if it was going to be the right colour or not. Did I even tell you what colour I was using? I'm using the colour Sand in the foundation, and this concealer is in the shade 2. Oh! Now that I'm touching my skin, this foundation dries amazing. There is no tackiness. It feels so smooth. Adding that light concealer on my skin already helps kind of like, you know, bring the shade down a little bit. So yeah, I guess now I'm just going to put on some powder. So this is the Lasting Perfection powder, shade 1 by Collection. And I'm just going to use it with a kabuki brush, and I'm just going to apply a small amount of that all over. And this is quite a pale foundation. I chose it on purpose just to kind of lighten the entire look a little bit. You don't want to do that too extreme. Like if you have a foundation that's like 5 shades too dark for you and you go putting a light powder on top, it'll just look ashy. But because this one is just like a shade too dark, it kind of works. This powder, I'll give you a quick review because I've used it a few times now. It's really good for the price. It kind of reminds me of the Rimmel Stay Matte, except it's not as matte. It just works really good at setting my foundation. It's nothing spectacular, but it works well. So if you need a cheap setting powder, this one's really good, although my packaging just broke, so fail. It's currently 9:30 AM, of course. So yeah, I'll come back in a couple of hours and show you how it's wearing. First impression, like right now, I really like it. For a full coverage foundation, for the price, it just feels great. And also I thought I should mention that it doesn't feel strange on my skin, considering it contains like, you know, tea tree oil and all that kind of thing. I actually love the feeling of tea tree oil on my skin, but I can't feel it at all. So I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, but it's not bothering my skin, and yeah, I just thought I'd mention that I can't feel anything. It just feels like a normal foundation so far. I almost forgot, I'll just insert a couple of photos with flash now. I'll be back soon. Hey everyone, so it's been 2 hours now. It is now 11:30. I think that's right. Did I start at 9:30? I always get so confused. And the face is looking great so far. So 2 hours wear, big thumbs up. Doesn't look cakey, doesn't look crazy, hasn't faded. Yeah, looks fine. So the only thing is this pimple is kind of rearing its big ugly head through. You can kind of see some of the redness from that zit, so probably should have put on like a bit of green concealer on top of that or something if I wanted to cover it up properly, but obviously I wanted to see how the foundation would cover it. So keep that in mind. Other than that, it is looking fabulous. So I'm just going to carry on with my day, and I'll pop back in another few hours and we'll see how it goes throughout the day. Hey guys, so just stopping by. It is now 3:30, so it's been on for a long time now. And I'm still going to keep it on. I am actually going to the gym in a few hours, so I guess I'll just come back after the gym. I know everyone's like, oh my god, don't go to the gym with makeup on, but sometimes I do, and as long as I wash my face after I get back home after the gym, because I often shower when I get home from the gym anyway, As long as you wash off your makeup really well and do all that kind of thing, I've never had a problem with it. Some people love wearing makeup to the gym, some people don't. I'm the kind of person where if I don't have makeup on, I'll go to the gym with no makeup on. If I've already got makeup on like I do today, I'll just go anyway and I don't really care. At least we're going to the gym, makeup or not. So yeah, I'll come back after the gym and just let you know, guys know how it went and if it stayed on during the sweat and all that kind of thing. But for now, it's so dark. I've actually got my little ring light on right now because even though it's only 3:30, it is literally like so dark outside. It's so cloudy and miserable. It's pissing down with rain. It's just horrible. I am so impressed so far. It hasn't faded anywhere. Like it's starting to melt up a little bit around my nostrils, like just in here if you can see. But other than that, it's literally like the exact same as when I applied it. It's held my bronzer and everything on quite well as well, like nothing's faded. Yeah, I'll just come back later and let you guys know how it is. Hey everyone, so I'm back again. It is now 7:30, so is that 10 hours? I'm really bad at, you know, clock times and stuff like that. But it's been on for a really, really long time, since 9:30 this morning, so that is pretty damn good. Just got back from the gym like half an hour ago or so, and my face is a little bit more shiny, which I'll put down to the sweating at the gym. Other than that, it literally looks flawless. Like it hasn't faded. It's still covering like everything apart from that one little zit that's kind of showing through, which next time I would just use like a green concealer on it. But yeah, I am so impressed. It hasn't creased anywhere. As I said earlier, it's just been around my nose where it's kind of melted a little bit, but that's fairly normal. It literally looks amazing. Also, a lot of that shininess is actually my highlighter. There is a little bit more oil on my skin because of the gym and everything. So I have normal to drier skin. Basically normal, I'll say. I just get a little bit drier on my chin occasionally. So yeah, if you have my skin type, definitely recommend it. And even if you've got oily skin, I'd recommend giving it a go because it's so affordable and it's not like since I've just been at the gym and it was a hard out workout, I'm still not like completely like oil slick on my face, like sweat or anything. Like it still looks decent, and I mean you can just touch it up with a bit of powder, and like I could just touch it with powder right now and I could go out again, like it looks fine. So I would definitely recommend this foundation. I'm totally going to order it in a shade lighter and see if that matches me better, and if not, I'm just going to mix it with a different foundation just to lighten it a bit because it is a little bit dark. But other than that, I really am so impressed. I thought I wasn't going to like this just because it was so affordable, and in the past I've struggled with really cheap foundations, like breaking me out and stuff. But this one so far is really good, so hopefully it doesn't break me out or anything. So I hope you guys found this helpful. Let me know if you've tried it. Let me know what your thoughts are, and I will talk to you really soon. Bye! Looks. Thank you to Nikki for collabing with me, and thank you so much for the inspiration. I think it's really cool when YouTubers kind of interact. I think it's really good to inspire one another to kind of step outside of your comfort zone. So it's always good having a spare in my bag. Same with bobby pins, they are always handy. A little bit of something for if you're not feeling